Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about all of the Blu-ray and 4K pickups that I picked up through the month of March. I'm going to be spilling into a bit of April as well in this video, just because a bit of an update as well. For the foreseeable future I'm not going to be making any more videos. Something's just come up inevitably that is not allowed me to continue to make videos. So yeah, those who know me best on YouTube know what's happened, and I've had nothing but support from the guys, and it's just been absolutely great. But yeah, as I said, something's just come up, and yeah, it's just unfortunately brought me to a decision where I just can't make videos at the moment and for the foreseeable future. But I hope to be back as soon as I can be. But yeah, it's just one of those unfortunate things really. But yeah, that being said, I'm going to try and end on a high with this video and just talk about the movies that I've picked up. So yeah, that being said, I'm going to kick off with some bootlegs that I picked up. So the first one that I got was True Lies, with Arnold Schwarzenegger by James Cameron. Absolutely fantastic movie that has been long overdue for a Blu-ray, but unfortunately we still haven't had an official release. But yeah, it's a fantastic action movie that I really love. So yeah, that is True Lies. So speaking of James Cameron, next one I picked up was The Abyss. So yeah, pretty much in a similar boat to True Lies. I haven't had an official Blu-ray release of this movie, but yeah, had to go with the bootleg. Not one of my favourite James Cameron movies, if I'm honest, but it has grown on me the more and more I've watched it. But yeah, just think visually it's a right treat. So yeah, that is The Abyss. Next up, I picked up a movie that was nominated for Best Picture this year at the Oscars, and that is Power of the Dog, with Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, I thought this was a fantastic western, bit of a slow burn, but I really enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah, can't really say much more than that. So yeah, that is Power of the Dog. Next up, I picked up Mank, starring Gary Oldman. This movie sort of is about the writing behind Citizen Kane. And yeah, I thought this movie was fine. It's not everyone's favourite movie. It's a bit of a slow burn again. But yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. Not a movie I'm going to go back to a hell of a lot. But yeah, thought it was fine. So yeah, that is Mank. Coming up next, picked up a couple of seasons of a TV show that I'm still yet to get into. So I picked up seasons 2, 3, 4 and 5 of Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, we've got season 5 there, season 4, season 3 and season 2. So yeah, these are on a bit of a discounted offer on Amazon UK, from £30 down to about £20. So I picked these up, forming a bit of a picture there on the spines as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, hopefully going to pick up the next 4 as well in the foreseeable future. But yeah, thought this was a great deal. Had to pick these up because of the reduced price. So yeah, very happy with these, and I'm still looking forward to getting into the show when I get around to it. So yeah, that is seasons 2 to 5 of Dragon Ball Z. So coming up next, heading into some more newer releases now. Picked up Steven Spielberg's remake of West Side Story, also nominated for Best Picture, I think. Yeah, I had a good time with this. At the time of filming this video, I watched this yesterday, and honestly I was really impressed with it. The first 10-15 minutes alone I thought were fantastic. There's a scene in this movie that takes place in a police station, I think, or a court, and I didn't really care for that scene, if I'm honest. But overall, I did enjoy the movie and had a great time with it. So yeah, that is the remake of West Side Story. Next up, picked up everyone's favourite horror film from last year, and that is Halloween Kills. Yeah, can't really talk about this movie without mentioning the whole Evil Dies Tonight thing. But if I'm honest, it never really bothered me. I did enjoy this movie. It's not a masterpiece by any means or any stretch of the imagination, but I got something out of it that I think a lot of people didn't. But yeah, not one of my favourites. Not a movie I'm going to go back to a hell of a lot, but there was something about it that I did enjoy. So yeah, that is Halloween Kills. Next up, I picked up The Kingsman. Now, I really do enjoy the first movie. I think it is a fantastic little surprise of a movie that came out of nowhere. I enjoy the sequel more than most people. I know a lot of people didn't really care for the sequel, but for me, this is the one that I didn't really care for a whole lot. I just thought this movie was the definition of meh. I thought it ended a bit stronger than it started, but overall, I just wasn't impressed with this movie. It just left a bit of a bad taste in the mouth, if I'm honest. Not one I'm going to go back to a lot, but yeah, didn't really care for it, if I'm honest, I'm sorry to say. But yeah, that is The Kingsman. Coming up next, going into some movies that I tried to update from DVD to Blu-ray. Picked up Hugo in 3D. Great Martin Scorsese film, this one. I think this is the one of the only few movies, if not the only movie he's directed that's family suitable. But yeah, I have a good time with this movie. It's not one of my favourites, but it is very, very entertaining, to say the least. So yeah, that is Hugo. Coming up next, picked up Chronicle. Great sort of underrated found footage superhero movie. This movie, I really did enjoy it. Need to give it a rewatch because it's been a long time since I've seen it. But yeah, for what this movie does, I was really impressed with it. So yeah, that is Chronicle. Coming up next, we've got Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Got this one quite cheap off Amazon. It's been out for a while now, but yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that this movie's quite boring, and I can kind of see that side of the coin, if I'm honest. But I do think it is well made. It's just very, very slow paced. Yeah, this movie is definitely a slow burn. But yeah, overall, it's not awful. In my opinion, I do enjoy it for what it is. But yeah, so yeah, that is Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Next up, picked up the 2 National Treasure movies. I'd never seen these movies before, up until about last month, and I must say, they were quite entertaining for what they were. Not my favourite Nicolas Cage movies, or movies in general, if I'm honest, but for what they were, I just thought these were just the definition of fine, in my opinion. Yeah, can't really say much more than them about that. So yeah, that is the 2 National Treasure movies. Next up, I picked up The Ides of March. Great political movie, this one, that I do really enjoy. I need to go back to it because it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I did remember really, really liking it. So yeah, that's all I can really say about it at this time. So yeah, that is The Ides of March. Picked up another Ryan Gosling film as well, The Place Beyond the Pines. I think this movie's fantastic. I just absolutely love it. I love everywhere that this movie goes. I just think it's fantastic, a fantastic story, fantastically acted, and I just think it's brilliant. Yeah, really, really do enjoy this movie, really dig it. One of my favourite Ryan Gosling movies. I just think it's fantastic. So yeah, that is The Place Beyond the Pines. Next up, picked up The Lincoln Lawyer with Matthew McConaughey. One of the better Matthew McConaughey movies, in my opinion. Again, it's been a long time since I've seen it. I need to give it a rewatch. But yeah, other than that, I can't really remember much about it. So yeah, that is The Lincoln Lawyer. Next up, picked up 50-50 with Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Name escaped me then for a minute. But yeah, I enjoy this movie. I do think it is a good movie. It touches on some hard stuff. Can be a hard watch at sometimes, but overall, really, really impressive movie. I think it handles the tough subject very, very well as well. So yeah, that is 50-50. Next up, picked up Crazy Stupid Love. Another great Ryan Gosling movie with Emma Stone. I think whenever those two make a movie together, I don't think you can go wrong, really. But yeah, this one, really, really good comedy that I really, really enjoy. Great cast to it as well. Just a fun movie. We don't get enough of them these days, but yeah, that was Crazy Stupid Love. Next up, picked up The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I didn't really dig this movie at first. I couldn't really get into it, but on repeat viewings, I've appreciated it a hell of a lot more on a new, different level. And yeah, I just think it's a good movie. One of those sort of coming of age movies of the more recent times. and yeah, I have a good time with it. So yeah, that is the perks of being a wallflower. Next up, we've got a movie by Wes Anderson, and that is the Grand Budapest Hotel. Really good movie. Really enjoy this one. Not my favourite Wes Anderson movie by any means, but I do think it is a cracking little film with a fantastic cast. Very funny. And yeah, just really enjoy this one. So yeah, that is the Grand Budapest Hotel. Next up, we've got End of Watch with Michael Pena and Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, just a fantastic, I don't want to say found footage movie, but it's a movie sort of told through like different sort of cameras, as it were, like sort of you know, dashboard cameras and all this, like these police shows. But yeah, it is really good, and I really enjoy it. It had an ending that I didn't really see coming. But yeah, it is a fantastic little film that I just really enjoy. So yeah, that is End of Watch. Next up, we've got another Emma Stone film, and that is The Help. Really good sort of period movie in America that I just really enjoyed. Had a fantastic time with this film. I think it's wonderfully acted, wonderful cast, and yeah, just an absolutely brilliant film. So yeah, that is The Help. Next up, I picked up Moneyball with Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill. So this movie's sort of about the more of the statistics side of sports and how to sort of buy players in a clever way. I didn't really like this movie when I first saw it. I did initially have this movie on Blu-ray and I downgraded it to DVD, but I decided to upgrade it again because on repeat viewing I did actually see the smarter side of this movie, and I did appreciate it a hell of a lot more. So yeah, that is Moneyball. Next up, I picked up Nebraska with Bruce Dern. I love this movie. I just think it's absolutely fantastic. So it's pretty much Bruce Dern gets sent one of these spam letters to say he's won the lottery or a large sum of money, and he's pretty much travelling across the state to pick up his prize, but everyone thinks he's just being silly and not just being daft, because they just obviously most people realise the letter he received was just bogus, but he just believes it's the real deal. But yeah, that is Nebraska. It's really good. If you've not seen it, I really recommend this one. I just have a fantastic time with it. So yeah, that is Nebraska. Next up, I picked up from Criterion to go along with my 4K of Dawn of the Dead and Blu-ray of Day of the Dead. Picked up Night of the Living Dead. Really creepy movie, this one. It really creeps me out whenever I go back to it. I do think it is a fantastic film. I know when this movie came out, it was sort of, people either thought it was really good or really bad. But yeah, I've got to say, I do enjoy it. I still think it holds up quite well. It has an absolutely fantastic ending, particularly, you know, for when this movie came out in the late 60s. Just absolutely superb. This is a movie with a pair of balls on it that I really do enjoy. And I've got a soft spot for the remake as well by Tom Savini. But yeah, this one's the classic to me, and yeah, really creepy. Really do enjoy it. So yeah, that is Night of the Living Dead. Next up, from the HMV Premium collection, I picked up one of my favourite River Phoenix movies of all time. I absolutely love this film. Haven't seen it on Blu-ray yet, but yeah, that is Running on Empty. I've talked a lot about this movie on the channel. I think it's super underrated. Glad to finally see it get a Blu-ray release. Yeah, I just adore this movie. Can't really say much more about it than that. Yeah, just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that is Running on Empty. Also on the premium collection, I picked up Mr. Nice Guy, just because this movie came out alongside Running on Empty. I thought I'll give this movie a go. I've not seen it yet, so I can't really comment on it. But yeah, I just thought I'll pick it up, give it a watch and see what it's like. So yeah, that is Mr. Nice Guy. And next up, from CEX, I didn't really have any intention on picking these films up, but I thought for £3, I'll pick the trilogy up and give it a rewatch at some point. So yeah, I picked up X-Men, X-Men 2 and X-Men The Last Stand on Blu-ray. So yeah, for £3, can't really go wrong. I love the first two. The third one, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I love the first two. Just think they're absolutely fantastic movies. And yeah, looking forward to giving them a rewatch when I get round to them. So yeah, that is the X-Men trilogy. Next up, I've picked up a movie that I have not seen yet, and it's been in my peripheral vision, as it were, for quite a long time, and that is Princess Caribou, starring Phoebe Cates and Kevin Kline. This is a movie to me that I've always seen the trailer to, because when I was younger I used to have a VHS copy of The Mask with Jim Carrey, and the trailer for this movie used to be on the start of that VHS tape. So it's taken me about 25 years to come across this movie, to finally get a copy of it. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. I've not seen it yet. And I know Phoebe Cates and Kevin Kline are actually married in real life, so I assume that this is the movie they actually met on set of. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to giving it a watch, as I've never seen it before. So yeah, that is Princess Caribou. Next up, I picked up Tony Scott's Enemy of the State with Will Smith and Gene Hackman. I love this movie. I think it's a fantastic suspenseful thriller with a great final action sequence as well that really did remind me of Tony Scott's True Lies as well. Just an absolutely fantastic action sequence at the end, and it's just edge of your seat stuff, this movie, that I really, really enjoy. So yeah, that is Enemy of the State. Next up, I picked up one of my favourite thrillers from the 80s, and that is The Hitcher. This movie is stunning on Blu-ray. It is absolutely gorgeous. The scenery in this movie is just jaw-droppingly good, even for the Blu-ray. I know there's a 4K coming out somewhere down the road this year, but for the Blu-ray, and the whole background scenes of the mountains just look phenomenal. I was just in awe of this movie and how it looks. It's superb. I'd go as far as say I think this movie is underrated. It's absolutely phenomenal. Just absolutely love it. If you can get your hands on a Blu-ray copy of this movie, please do, because it just looks gorgeous. So yeah, it made me love the movie on a whole different new level, which I didn't think was possible. So yeah, that is The Hitcher. Next up, I picked up Tombstone, early 90s western, which is absolutely great. Phenomenal cast as well, too many to mention. But yeah, this is a phenomenal western, and I just absolutely love it. If you've not seen it, check it out. It's fucking great. Yeah, just really, really enjoyed Tombstone. Phenomenal movie. Next up from Arrow, I picked up To Live and Die in LA. This is a movie I had on DVD that I really, really wanted to upgrade to Blu-ray, and I'm glad I have. I've not seen it yet, but yeah, I have seen the movie, just not the Blu-ray transfer. But yes, I'm really, really looking forward to giving this one a rewatch, because I just love it. I think it's one of my favourite movies from 1985. Just absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, that is To Live and Die in LA. Next up, I picked up one of my sort of comfort horror movies that I just really enjoy, and that is Night of the Creeps with Tom Atkins. This is actually his favourite movie that he's ever made, Tom Atkins, and I can see why he's having a ball in this movie. Really, really great, underrated, creepy movie from the 80s. It's just superb, and I just enjoy every minute of it. So yeah, that is Night of the Creeps. Next up, we've got a remake of one of probably the most famous horror films from the 70s, and that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I ever saw, and I've got to be honest, I really dig this movie. I really like it a lot. I love the atmosphere that this movie creates, the hot, sticky Texan weather. It's just really uncomfortable to watch, but it really captures it so well. And yeah, I just love the aesthetics to it. It's just really dirty, really creepy. I just think it's a fantastic remake. So yeah, that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Next up, picked up one of my favourite movies from the early 2000s, and that is Traffic. I just love how this movie looks. The DVD I have is probably borderline unwatchable. It's just awful, and I haven't watched it yet on Blu-ray. But when I put it in the machine to see what the transfer looked like, it was just a massive upgrade. Really, really did look like something special. So I'm looking forward to checking it out in full. Phenomenal cast to it as well. Just really, really dig this movie. So yeah, that is Traffic. Next up, I picked up one of my favourite Alfonso Cuarón movies, but I could say that about most Alfonso Cuarón movies, that they're my favourite. Particularly A Little Princess. I think that movie's phenomenal. But yeah, picked up Children of Men with Clive Owen. I adore this movie. It blew my socks off the first time I saw it. Phenomenal cast, phenomenal story. Just enjoyed it so much. But yeah, had to upgrade it to Blu-ray. Yeah, it's just a fantastic film. So yeah, that is Children of Men. Next up, I picked up one of my favourite trilogies of all time, the Naked Gun Trilogy on Blu-ray. I love these movies. They're some of the funniest movies I've ever seen. You know, rest in peace to Leslie Nielsen. Thank God he made these movies, because they just don't half make me chuckle. They're just such a good time. If you're ever feeling down, just slap these movies on. They really, really do perk you up. They're just absolutely brilliant. So funny. Some of the best comedies. Yeah, just phenomenal. So yeah, that is the Naked Gun Trilogy. Next up, I picked up the Steven Seagal box set. Not the best action star ever, to be honest, but I think some of his best work is captured in this set. So you've got the first two Under Siege movies, Hard to Kill, Nico Above the Law, and Executive Decision. He's more of a supporting character in Executive Decision. That's more of a Kurt Russell movie. But yeah, that was my very first Kurt Russell movie I ever saw, Executive Decision, and I just enjoy it. It's not a great, phenomenal movie, but it's really, really entertaining, and it's got a really good cast to it. So yeah, that is the Steven Seagal collection. Next up, picked up Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, this is a movie I've been meaning to get on Blu-ray for quite some time, and the transfer does look really good. But yeah, it's daft, it's silly, but so entertaining. You know, one of the middle of the road Ivan Reitman movies, as it were. But my word, do I enjoy it! I just think Schwarzenegger and DeVito have such great chemistry, and it's just so entertaining. Can't say much more than that. It's a movie I'm always quoting. I just absolutely love it. So yeah, that is Twins. Next up, I picked up Sam Raimi's The Quick and the Dead. This is a really good western with a outstanding cast. Particularly if you look at what these actors did in their later careers, winning Oscars and everything. This movie is just stacked with talent. It really is. It's just great. Love it. Love everything about this movie. It's more of a western tournament of who can survive, and yeah, I just love it. It's really, really kick-ass, this movie. Yeah, just one of my favourites. So yeah, that is The Quick and the Dead. Next up, I picked up a movie I always forget is a Ridley Scott movie, Thelma and Louise. Yeah, a movie I didn't really enjoy the first time I watched it, but it has grown on me a hell of a lot. Not seen the Blu-ray transfer yet, but I'm looking forward to checking it out, and I do get a kick out of this movie. I do think it is really, really good. But yeah, always forget it's a Ridley Scott movie. So yeah, that is Thelma and Louise. Next up, I picked up one of the better Bruce Willis movies, shall we say. It's absolute tragic what has come to light with Bruce Willis. But yeah, I'll always remember him for this movie in particular, and that is The Sixth Sense. Yeah, just one of the best horror movies. I absolutely enjoy this movie. Bit of a slow burn, but when this movie's creepy, it's creepy. It really does inject the creepiness. It's just, I think this is a fantastic film. I think I saw it way too young when it came out, 1999. I was probably about 8 or 9 years old when first watching this movie, but Really got into it. Great ending, which I'm sure everyone knows by now. But yeah, I just think it's a fantastic horror film. Probably M. Night Shyamalan's best film, if not his best. You know, it's great. I think his early work is his standout stuff. But yeah, The Sixth Sense I think is fantastic. I just really enjoy it. I just think it's a great horror film. So coming up next, we've got one of my favourite Robin Williams movies, and that is Good Morning Vietnam. This is a movie for me that gets better and better every time I rewatch it. I just think I just fall in love with this movie all over again every time I give it a rewatch. I just think it's great. I don't want to get too much into the storyline, but yeah, it just impresses me the more and more I watch this movie. It's great. I'm looking forward to checking it out on DVD, on Blu-ray. I've only seen it on DVD 3 times, but yeah, looking forward to checking it out on Blu-ray because it is fun. It is phenomenal stuff. This movie, and one of Robin Williams' best films. So yeah, that is Good Morning Vietnam. Next up, I picked up with Christopher Lambert, Highlander, Sean Connery as well. A movie I didn't like the first time I saw it, but on rewatch, I came round and I really got into it. Yeah, it's just a fantastic movie from the 80s with a great concept. So about these immortals and there can only be one, and they're just constantly fighting each other through time. It's great, and I just really enjoy it. I think probably one of Christopher Lambert's best movies. I just really dig Highlander. Great soundtrack as well by Queen. Superb stuff. So yeah, that is Highlander. Next up, I picked up one of my favourite Tim Burton movies, which I'm absolutely dying to see on Blu-ray. That is Sleepy Hollow. Yeah, I dig this movie. I love it a lot. I love it for the cast. I love it for the story. I love it for the aesthetics. This is like a modern day Hammer horror film, as it were, from what I've seen from Hammer. It's just the vivid colours of the blood are just so vibrant, and the rest of the colour palette of the movie is quite dull. But God, do I love this movie. It's great. It's one of my favourites that I've grown up with. Again, another movie from 1999, I think, that I just really enjoyed watching as a kid. Yeah, just absolutely love it. So yeah, it's one of my favourite Tim Burton movies in my opinion. So yeah, that is Sleepy Hollow. Next up, again, picked up sort of another one of my favourite comedies that I've really grown to love this movie, and that is It's a Mad World. I know this is actually James Rolfe from Cinemassacre. This is his favourite movie of all time, and I can completely see why. The comedy in this movie is through the roof. The talent involved in this movie at the time is just absolutely firing at all pistons. It's sad to see that most of the cast of this movie is I think probably dead by now, but my word, this movie is so much fun. It's sort of Rat Race done correctly, as it were, in my opinion. But yeah, I just have an absolute blast with it. It is just one of the funniest movies ever, and the cast in it, so good. So yeah, that is It's a Mad World. Next up, picked up from Michael Bay, The Rock with Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery. This is a movie I enjoy. I don't think it's great, but I do enjoy it. I do get a kick out of it. So yeah, only ever seen it on DVD. Looking forward to seeing what the Blu-ray transfer looks like. It's one of those movies I think that needs a couple of watches to sort of get into it and appreciate what it is. But yeah, I have fun with it nonetheless. So yeah, that is The Rock. Next up, I picked up Ronin with Robert De Niro and Jean Reno. This is a good little action movie. I do get a kick out of it. I do enjoy it. It's not one of my favourites, but I still have a good time with it. Yeah, that's all I can really say about it. Need to give it a rewatch. I think Jonathan Pryce is in this as well. But yeah, really do enjoy it for what it is. So yeah, that is Ronin. Next up, picked up one of my favourite Stallone movies, and that is Cliffhanger. This is one of those movies that you watch and it's like everyone is in this movie. But yeah, it is. It's really good, this movie. I really do enjoy it. I think John Lithgow makes for a great villain. The only thing I'd say in this movie that really did make me laugh on repeat viewing is the opening scene. involving this sort of tragedy. Michael Rooker's character, when he's in the middle of trying to help that scene out, look at the guy's face next to him. He's just absolutely, his face is just so inappropriate, but it's so hilarious and you just can't take your eyes off him. That's all I'm going to say. It happens in the opening sequence, but yeah, just look at the guy next to Michael Rooker's character. Like, his face is just hysterical for what's going on. But yeah, that is Cliffhanger. It's superb. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, cheesy fun. But yeah, can't really say much more about it than that. So yeah, that is Cliffhanger. And that brings me to a close with all the Blu-rays. Only got a handful of 4Ks this month that I'm going to get into. So yeah, that being said, first one I picked up was the Best Picture winner from 1992, starring and directed by Clint Eastwood, and that is Unforgiving. I've only watched one movie out of these 4Ks that I've picked up. Unforgiving is not one of them. I have seen the movie before, but I've not seen what the 4K transfer looks like. But yeah, this is a phenomenal movie regardless. I just enjoy it. Superb cast with Morgan Freeman, Gene Hackman. Just a great western. Yeah, just love this movie from the early 90s. Just absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, that is Unforgiven. Next up, I picked up a movie by Oliver Stone, and that is The Doors. Great Val Kilmer movie, this one. I recently watched the documentary Val, about Val Kilmer and just how sad the direction his life has taken with his illness and his throat. Sort of made me appreciate his movies a lot more. But The Doors is fantastic. I think he really plays the part of Jim Morrison absolutely brilliantly. Great cast to this movie as well. One of Oliver Stone's best movies in my opinion. I actually think he's quite underrated, Oliver Stone. Some of his movies are just absolutely phenomenal, like Talk Radio and JFK, and The Doors is no exception. It's a brilliant movie I absolutely love. So looking forward to checking out on 4K. So yeah, that is The Doors. Next up is another Schwarzenegger movie I picked up. Now, I have actually watched this on 4K and it is brilliant. Picture quality is superb. That is Predator. I love this movie. I always have. I've loved it as a kid. And see it on 4K is just absolutely brilliant. This movie is just absolutely stellar. The thing that works for me about this movie is its cast of characters. You know, the whole team in this movie you care about and you enjoy. You're on board with the characters, you're invested, and it's just great. And the way this movie goes and what happens to the characters, without going too much into the movie, you're disheartened by it because you care about them. And it's just such an engaging movie. It's one of John McTiernan's best movies as well, up there with Die Hard and Last Action Hero for me. But yeah, just absolutely superb. Great action movie, great sci-fi movie, and one of Schwarzenegger's best. So yeah, that is Predator. Next up, I picked up, in my opinion, one of the best movies ever made. Got it in this deluxe set from Second Sight, and that is The Green Mile. I'm going to try and say something different about this movie that hasn't really been said, in my opinion anyway. Everyone knows who's seen this movie. You know, the general gist and the general consensus with this movie is that it is a phenomenal movie, and I completely 100% agree. The only thing for me that I don't think this movie gets enough credit with is Sam Rockwell's performance. He just never really gets talked about in this movie. I just think he is a disgusting, vile piece of shit in this movie. He just really is, but you can't help but sort of laugh at him. He disappears in this movie, and it's just the character. The actor is just gone, in my opinion anyway. But yeah, it's such a great movie. I absolutely love it. And if you've not seen it, do yourself a favour. Please watch this movie. It has a runtime of 3 hours, but it is one of the quickest 3-hour movies you will ever see. And the only thing I can say it as well is don't forget to wet your fucking sponge. But yeah, that is The Green Mile. And coming up next is a movie that just arrived today, and as I said, this is going to spill into April. I picked up my favourite movie of last year, and that is SpiderMan No Way Home. The only thing I can say about this is a movie that can be spoiled, because there is so much going on in this movie, and don't worry, I will not spoil a single thing about this movie. All I can say is the ambition behind this movie for me absolutely worked. I have never seen a movie quite like it, and I just was blown away by what I saw. I probably enjoyed this movie a hell of a lot more than Endgame. It got a fantastic emotional response out of me, and I just thought it was phenomenal. I just had an absolute blast with this movie. I just thought it was great, and I can't really say much more than that. I think if you've not seen this movie yet, and you are sort of feeling a bit disconnected from the MCU, or you have sort of what is being cladded as the phrase superhero fatigue, I think this movie will pull you right back in and really ignite your interest. So yeah, I can't really say much more about it than that without getting into spoilers. So yeah, that is Spider-Man No Way Home. So yeah, that brings this video to a close, guys, and I'm just going to say thanks to everyone who has watched my videos, subscribed to my videos, commented, liked my videos. I really do appreciate everyone who takes the time to check out my channel, and it's just massively appreciated. But yeah, I am going to leave the video there and check out from videos for a while. As I said, something's just come up that is not going to allow me to make videos for the foreseeable future. But I do hope to get back to it as soon as I can, and I'm going to try and be back with a bang when it happens. So yeah, a massive thank you to everyone who supported this channel and supported me. Really is massively appreciated. And as I said, I just appreciate anyone who takes the time to watch these videos. So yeah, gonna leave the video there, guys, and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.